Why did you just let him do that? He kicked for no reason, and you just stood there and took it. He even stole my book. I'm sorry. I'll ask Mom if I can buy you another one. What? I don't care about that. Well, okay, now, for some reason I thought there wasn't a second set of parentheses, or what, quotes, yeah, I'm dumb. I don't care about that. Why didn't you fight back or something? I just can't. Just forget it. Come on, I have some water. Clean your face up. Ah! I fall backwards off the seat and back first onto the ground. Ugh. Kotonoha, who I somehow didn't see coming, burst into laughter upon my landing, which only worsened the growing heat in my cheeks.
I really hope this isn't going to turn into a running gag between us.
She then offers me her hand, which I reluctantly take and get up. Once I dust myself off, I awkwardly chuckle before meeting her gaze. Yeah, sorry about that. Again.
It's totally fine. I saw you from afar and you looked like you needed a minute. But now that we're kind of past that, I have to ask. Are you all right? If it's something personal, I'm not going to ask much.
No, it's fine. I'm just...
That's all right.
If you say, if I'm just, you should probably like ... if it's a trail off sentence.
It's all right.
Strangely, she stepped aside and sat down on the swing next to me.
So, come here often?
No, I mean, yeah. Alright, let me try that again. I used to come here often as a kid, yeah. Well, hold on. I forgot to bury it again. But now, I came here mostly to relive the past since it's been so long.
Oh, you hadn't even walked by this place any other day?
Huh? Oh, no, I just moved back in town, so...
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. So I guess this makes this visit a lot more special.
I really had been away for a long time. I only came back yesterday. This place was the heart of my childhood. In a few different ways, one would assume. But I guess I more so missed the person I spent it all with here.
Childhood friends, huh?
Oh yeah. She was my only friend back then. I felt terrible because I kinda just left her in the dark and moved away.
And now you're trying to find her in hopes of making up?
I guess.
You guess?
I mean, yeah, I want to find her and talk to her, but I'm kind of scared too. Because she'd probably be more than mad than happy to see me. I'm just worried that once I face her, she might not even see me as she did back then. Maybe she already moved on, or might just end it once we meet. I just can't afford to lose someone like her, but... Once again, just trail it off. It's just not at the end of the sentence. You can't just end up with a but and a period. I'm not exactly going to make any progress by staying away, so I'm kind of just stuck. As I continue, I can still see glimpses of the days that we first met. How she lent me a crayon out of nowhere and asked if I wanted to draw stuff with her. I guess it would be lent or lended for past tense lending.
Wow, that's a lot, even for a new guy. Oh, sorry. Need an apostrophe here. Possessive, that's. Well, all I can really tell you is that we can't really predict fate. She might be upset or she might be happy to see you. Both outcomes are huge possibilities, but you'll never really know until you just do it. If you've come all this way for her sake, then the least you can do is go through with it. Sure, it may not end in your favor, but I think you'd be satisfied in a way knowing you at least tried. I don't know, that's just how I view things. It might be a different situation for you, but that's just my advice.
No, I appreciate the advice. It does give me a bit of a head start on what I have to do now. Otherwise, I was just aimlessly walking around and not knowing what I've actually been looking for. Anyway, what about you?
Huh?
I'm not one to talk, but it's past midnight. What made you come to a local park so late?
Oh, it's actually quite the silly story. My little brother left his toy car in the sandbox this afternoon. When I got home from school, my mom told me he's been crying ever since they got home. It took us so long to make him stop and actually tell us what was wrong. By the time we finally understood the situation, it was already dark out.
I see. That's kids for you.
Yup.
She suddenly swings back and hops off the swing when it comes forward.
Thanks for reminding me of why I'm actually here. And you're right, it really is getting late. You are right, '3. I'll just go and find the car, so don't want to let me keep you here.
If you need a hand, I can help you out. It'll be quicker, and I certainly can't leave a nice girl such as yourself out here this late at night. What the hell?
Well, aren't you a gentleman? I guess I could use some assistance.
With that, she simply walks past me with a bright smile while I remain immobilized on the spot. This was something that's been on my mind for years. I never moved on, but I changed. I changed because of the motivation one person gave me. Look, I know you don't like fighting, but you have to keep yourself safe somehow. I'm not always going to be there to help you when those jerks pick on you. You won't? What? No, I didn't mean it like that, dummy. I mean, I can't be there all the time, but it's not that I don't like fighting. I just can't do it no matter how hard I try. I mean, no. But I'll try. I'll try so that you can stop being so cranky about it. Huh? I'm not being cranky. Ow, 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 ow. More evidence that this is Natsuki. Stop throwing me the pencils. You're going to break them. Ow! But what about when we get older? Huh? What about it? What if we grow up and you won't be here? Mom said I'll stop coming here when I get older, and this is the only place we actually get to play together. Then we'd still find a way. I know my papa doesn't allow me to have someone come over. Neither does mine. But we'll try our best to stick together. That's the point of being friends. I before E. So... Alright, I am now more convinced that it is most likely Natsuki. We'll always be together. In the end, I was the one who ended up not being there. I was the one who broke that promise and her trust.
You coming, Hallie? The night's not getting any younger. Apostrophe, it's an is.
Yeah, coming. I promise I'll make things right. Natsuki. That was our confirmation. The days after have been really slow and uneventful, except for the day after I went to the park. Even though I expected it to happen, I outslept Sayori that morning. She actually came to my house to wake me up by abusing the doorbell, an impressive technique that actually worked. This can't be a new sentence all by itself. You need like a semicolon or a comma to make this one sentence. However, the school day was complete hell for me. I tried to get some shut-eye during classes, which backfired and almost got me kicked out of classes. Karinova, however, understood my case and let me off the hook a few times when we crossed eyes. After that, Sayori and I exchanged numbers after she had the idea of using it to wake each other up. Which doesn't sound all that bad, but might be a bit over the top. Right now, on this boring Tuesday morning, I'm staring at the clock with most of my sleep out the window, waiting for it to be break already. I swear I'm usually not this uninvolved in school, but it's just not my day today. After a few more minutes, the bell shows me mercy, and I soon exit my class. I say exit, but I practically wobble my way out since my legs decided to stay asleep longer than me. Now that I'm actually out here, I need to figure out what I'm going to do besides walking around and eating lunch. With my lack of friends and other reasons, I can only turn to Sayori or Kotonoha in that matter. Maybe I can text Sayori since I already have her number. But I again think to myself about what counts as too much closure and not. Sigh. Guess I'll just let the world decide how I'll spend my time today. I start by heading down the hall and begin looking around the places I'm allowed to be around. I'll head outside once I've had my fill. I end up wandering into the library, and the first thing that catches my eye is the wide doorway at the far end, which I was not expecting to see. Another thing I notice is how packed this place is. Kinda makes me want to back out. I don't know, man, looks pretty empty to me. But since I'm here, it wouldn't hurt to check out what they have in here. I really do feel like picking up my reading again. Not that I'm in dire need of it, but rather I just feel the need to relive the old days once again. With my current state of mind, I really wonder how I even ever found myself captivated by lines on pages of a thick book. I look around the first few shelves nearest to me, picking out titles that seemed to catch my eye. A cheap start, but I wouldn't mind picking up something. It's also really surprising to see a lot of students in here already, and during break for that matter. I eventually pick out a book and take a look at the cover. Return. Huh. The story features a young man who experiences a great tragedy with the loss of a friend, only to be thrown back in time as if given a second chance to save them. He discovers that it's not as easy as it seems to have a life, and that the more he presses on to do so, the more his struggles intensify and break him down. Or to save lives. Did I say have? It said save them. Yeah. What genre is this thing again? What the hell. I'm not one to question cliché plots. It's not like I'm trying to pick out stuff to criticize. It might just be a fun read for all I know. I begin reading it to get a first look at what I'm getting into and begin walking over to one of the seats. You were saying something there, Monica. Also, I wonder if your last name is Monica in this mod. Whoa,
Ah.
As I turn the corner, I nearly crash into a girl who was carrying a sizable amount of books. And since we both startled each other, she lost her balance and the tower of books she had in her hands fell from her grasp. Books which I immediately went to catch. I dropped mine in the process, but I managed to catch hers. That counts as a win, right? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
It's fine. I'm just glad we didn't fully crash into each other.
I guess there's that. I'm just gonna... I set down the books on a nearby table while she reaches down to pick up mine. This girl had long brown hair that partially curtained her face when she knelt down to pick up my book. Her movements were swift and her entire posture was so firm. These are a lot of books. Weren't you taking them somewhere?
Actually, I was bringing these back here. I had borrowed a lot the past week and nearly went overdue because I lost track of when I got them all. Then I felt felt like saving the hassle for the librarian and put them back myself.
Hassle's Ellie. Huh, is that so? Anyway, sorry to delay you like that. I was just checking the library out since I hadn't been here yet and started wandering.
Oh, are you new here?
Yeah, actually, only been here for a few days.
Well, then as a head of the student council, I welcome you to Sakurai High.
Part of the title, capitalizing. Glad to hear. Name's Hallie. Here, H-E-A-R.
Monica.
Nice to meet you. It's really interesting how all of the students who I've met and talked to at this point have been of high recognition or position. Well, no one else really talks to me despite my best efforts. I can't tell if I'm lucky or cursed.
I'm assuming you don't need a rundown of the school.
Yeah, I'm alright. Someone already gave me a tour of the place last week. Although I got to ask. I poke my head at the glass door behind her as she takes a glance at it. Is there a reason that door is more fancy looking than everything else? Fancier is a word. And why it's a secondary entrance? Statement, not a question?
All of that? Well, to keep it simple, the school keeps the library open and free to use at any time, even after school hours. And it's not only visited by the students of this school. So, to avoid the trouble of going through the entire school to get here, they made a back door that leads to the main gate with one turn. Although I do agree that the decor is a bit over the top.
That explains a lot and honestly sounds pretty cool. I probably needed to know that anyway for the future.
Well, I'm glad to have been of assistance then.
Monica then proceeds to take the books off the table I set them on, slipping each into their respective shelves. You need a hand?
Sure, if you don't mind.
I guess I can count this as a good use of my time until break's over. I'm standing here helping out the head of student council with something. Which on paper doesn't sound all that fascinating, but being me, I find it almost unbelievable. Especially when we're talking about a pretty-looking girl like her. Even when I didn't know who this girl was, there was this intimidating vibe I got from her.
I saw the cover of your book there. Are you interested in this genre?
To be really honest, no, but also I don't know. Back in the day, this kind of fantasy really wasn't my thing, even though I used to read a lot, but I'd like to think my preferences has changed my preference has changed over time.
Oh, so you're a frequent reader.
As we finish up, I pull away and wipe my hands before turning to her. I used to be. I'm only getting back into the habit now after years of just dropping it. Although I'm not sure about the end result, whether it'll stick with me anymore or not. If I give it a shot and it turns out that I actually like it, then great. But if I don't like it, I will still be satisfied knowing I gave it a try.
Exactly. That's precisely the kind of perspective I want my club members to follow.
Oh, you have a club too?
Even though it's my first time running a club, I still have confidence that I can make it grow into something worth all the effort. Most of my members are really reluctant on trying new things and expressing their own likeness out of shyness, so I want to help them break through that fear. But they do show passion for what they love. Even if the subject at hand doesn't really seem like it would grab much attention, and we don't have that many members because of it.
A club that doesn't grab much attention, run by someone who seems to be very passionate about it, and they don't have many members. This entire description fits what Sari told me in bits and pieces about the club she's in. It's a hunch, but may I ask what this club is?
Oh, it's about literature.
Well, I'll be damned. Huh, cool, very cool.
Are you perhaps interested in joining?
I wouldn't say Sari has been bugging me about it, but it has been a main concern of hers over the weekend and when we talked in school or texted each other. It's not like this would do me any harm. If anything, it'll just be another push for me to make more friends outside my own class. And on the plus side, it would be a good way for me to get back into reading and the idea of literature itself, so I could at least brag about one thing to Mom. Oh, what the hell. It could be fun regardless. I just hope they're willing to accept my opinion on manga, and if I could introduce it there as a cheap sneak to bring my own collection to school. Yes, actually. As I said, I'm trying to get back into my reading habit since it would be helpful. I could probably make use of my time being there, and it would also allow me to explore what more there is to literature. So yeah, I'd be happy to join. If that's alright with you.
Oh, of course, that would be great. Would you like to come to the club today? I can accompany you to the room after school if you'd like.
That would be nice, but I wouldn't want to put you through that trouble. You can just tell me the room number and I'll drop by.
If you say so. Our club room is Class 3E on the second floor.
Alright, I'll see you there then.
Great.
After that exchange, I excuse myself to go and check out my book from the librarian. Kind of glad I got my student card early. After that, I head out from the library and make my way back to class since I noticed there's only 3 minutes left until the bell rings. Man, I never knew math could be this fun ever again. I can't tell if I actually found all of it easy or if it was the teacher's positive vibe that helped me pull through it all. After the final bell sounded off, I wave goodbye to Kotonoha and head out of the classroom. She's been very interactive with me, and I can't really tell if it's because of our encounter that night or if it's her way of familiarizing herself with new students. But it feels nice having someone like that around regardless. No one else seems to approach me in class, so it's not always awkward loneliness with her around. Or loneliness, another E in there. Running Monica's directions through my head, I finally begin making my way to the stairs. After a short while of walking along the classrooms, I finally spot room 3E. I noticed that the club members got to leave 5 minutes early, so I guess those who attend this meeting are already here. Sari's in for a surprise, alright. I enter the room and take a quick glance of the area. I see a total of 3 people, 2 of them who I already know of. They are quick to acknowledge my presence as Sari practically jumps out of her seat and approaches me.